Conor, first of all, what was your biggest takeaway from Saturday's game?
Biggest takeaway was, it's a really interesting one, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a mad game, bit of a game of two halves. In terms of takeaways, probably was really disappointed with the slow start and the goals that we conceded. It's been a common theme over the period of the kind of first half of the season. And we're getting to a stage now where it needs to stop. I've been really frustrated with that. The squad know that, the defenders know that, the team knows that over the last couple of days, because we're getting to a situation now where we score plenty of goals, and fortunate for us, we do score a lot of goals because we like to attack and we like to play, attacking style of football. But we need to start now shoring up the defence, because it's getting, one too many for my liking. So there's been, some words said, and we're looking for a big improvement now moving forward on that. Second half then is my team does what they do. They play well, they attack, they score goals. And when they do that, they look like a good team. So complete game of two halves, a range of emotions through it all. 45 minutes of real kind of frustration and disappointment. Second half of disappointment from the different scale that we could have potentially got something from the game. So a bit one of them strange games.
Are you considering doing anything kind of a bit more radical from a defensive perspective, whether that's personnel, whether that's approach, whether that's taking it back to basics, anything of that nature?
Yeah, I think, I think that will stay in-house, but there has been a lot of conversations over the last few days. Look, I've been scratching my head about it all season, to be honest with you. We've taken an approach over the last few days, and hopefully that will have an effect over the next kind of block of games. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, straight away, and Stevenage is going to be the perfect defensive performance. I'm hoping obviously there's going to be a big improvement. There has to be. But hopefully over the next 5 or 6 games we can see an improvement from that point of view. Because if we do that, then we'll pick up more points than we have been over recent times, just because we know we've got the ability to win games then at the other side of the pitch.
And does everyone need to take a bit of responsibility for this? Is it the players, your staff, yourself, and everyone else, if you're going to try and improve it?
Absolutely. No question. There's not pinpointing an individual. There's not pinpointing, just the defence. It's everyone involved in it. It's a constant process and constant kind of battle to improve. And this had been the glaring obvious one over the course of the season. And yes, the defenders obviously and the goalkeepers, probably were the ones at the forefront of my mind yesterday when we were in and chatting about it. But the squad know that, there has been goals in recent times that it has not been the defenders, but the defenders then and the goalkeeper need to tell them players when, that they don't, what you're doing, because it's making us look like, I could say probably a few words on that, so they need to take a little bit more personal pride on giving it to other lads as well if they're costing goals.
From an attacking perspective, some thoughts on Tom Bradshaw and his debut. Good to get 90 minutes under his belt.
Yeah, good to get 90 minutes on into him. He's not played obviously a lot first half of the season. Someone that I know will be really honest on his approach, will work his socks off, press relentlessly, and then obviously he's always going to be in the middle of the goal for opportunities when they come to him. Got to be a little bit careful with his load, because look, he did such a high effort against Bolton that we have to be a little bit careful with him. With obviously the situation at the top end of the pitch. So he's one that's going to be a big positive for us, and one that we know that's going to put in a relentless effort when he's out there playing.
I suppose if you're talking about standards as well from a defensive perspective, having somebody with the experience of Tom, we talk about culture carriers within the game. He's not going to shy away from telling people, raising standards, giving that feedback when he needs to.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, look, he's experienced. He's been at this level. He's been at the championship for many levels, and it's good to have someone experienced come in the building. So the way he's trained and the way he's conducted himself and the way he wants to, run around and apply himself is always a testament to the player, and it's great to have someone like Tom that wants to do that is really honest guy, and others will feed off that then as well.
Great start after the weekend. That Scott Banks is the first and only player to get an assist in each of his first 3 games for the club. from an impact perspective, you must be pleased with what he's managed to do, what he's already bringing to the group.
Yeah, I really, really like Banksy. I think he's, a real attacking player. Obviously, likes to get the ball wide, dribble, left-footed, can take people on, can bring people into play. He's set up quite a few goals already in his 3 games that he's played. So yeah, I knew he'd hit the ground running. I knew he'd be a good player. I know he'll continue to be a good player. And it's something that we really, really needed because, everyone was relying on our play down the left with Reyes and Patrick Kelly and these guys. So to have a balance of both sides now with Banksy as well is something that's really important to us.
Was there a chance you could have signed him on a permanent basis in January? Was that ever discussed?
No, not necessarily for the time being. I think initially it was a loan. It was always going to be a loan, and he wanted to get back to playing in his position with a back four and playing on the right hand side, cutting in on his left foot and showing his quality. And look, obviously the first half of the season just didn't quite fall for him, whether it was formations or injuries or whatever. But from our point of view, he's come in and hit the ground running, which has been great.
Would it be something that, look, it's early days, some of the first few games that supporters are already kind of impressed with what he's done? Would that be something that you potentially look to explore, or is that a possibility?
Yeah, let's see. We're a long way off. Look, the January window's just closed. He's only played 3 games. I know that he's going to keep going from strength to strength. He's getting stronger and stronger, and more match fitness, more match sharpness. And he's a big plus with how we want to play. So he's been a big positive for sure, and it's great for everyone.
In terms of fitness issues, have you got a more defined period on Shirewa and when he might be back involved?
Yeah, we're hoping probably in the next week, 10 days type period. Nothing major, but he just needs to sit out and get himself back in a decent place. He got a little bit of a knock, an unfortunate one. So look, it's one that he just needs to settle down and get back. We can't take any risks with the bodies that we have. Respect the little knock that he has, and then he'll come back in a good place.
Adam Phillipson and Luke O'Connell, are they kind of over their illness issues now, or are they still working back towards full fitness?
No, all okay, to be honest. From an illness point of view, a couple of knocks and bruises from the game against Bolton, but we all should be okay. Fingers crossed, going off the back of the information yesterday and today, and obviously we'll see how people react on the grass. But we're hoping that the squad won't be any different really from the Bolton game.
Only 11 days since you last met Stevenage, which would be quite unusual in the world of football. Do you take a lot of confidence from that game and what you managed to do?
Yes, in one way, yes, but I do think that it's going to be a completely different game at their place. I got to be honest. I think it's a tight pitch there, and they've got a decent home record. So I feel like it will be a different game a little bit. The ball will be able to play a lot probably. It's a tight pitch. They set up everything from long throw-ins to set plays, so we need to be really aware of that and respect it and kind of nullify that threat that they have. And then when we have the ball, obviously go and try and play our way and try and attack the game and try and get a positive result. So yes, you can take some positives from the game here because it's a short space of time. Personnel will be similar, but we do feel like going there, it will be a different game completely.
Certainly, some statistics around their home form that are noteworthy, aren't they? The fact that they've only lost 1 in 13 at home, the fact they've only conceded 7 goals at home. Some supporters may see the home game and really fancy this, but as you'll say with every game, this will be a tough proposition with what they've managed to do there. No,
it will be for sure. They've got to really, like I said, they don't concede many, they don't concede many at home particularly. And we need to be at our very best to get a positive result. I think, like you just said there, fans will think from the game at home, we'll go there in a similar performance and we'll get the job done. That's not going to be the case. It will be a really tough test for us. There probably won't be much in the game. We have to be really good defensively, like I just said, from long throw-ins, from set plays, and then obviously take our attacking players forward and test them as well. So it will be a different game, no question, and we need to be ready for what they throw at us.
I just found it for me, Conor, there's clearly still a lot of kind of frustration off the pitch with a variety of things around the club. How much do you need the supporters to kind of stick with you and your players over the next coming weeks?
Yeah, it's really important. Look, I'm fully aware of the frustrations. I see and hear the noise. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. Me and the players need their support. We need to put in performances that excite the fans as well, without a doubt. I think we've done that, over the last kind of couple of home games, not obviously Bolton. But I think from our home performances point of view, I think they've been decent and excited, a lot of people. And we need to start doing that, like I've touched on now, away from home that little bit more. And then obviously we've got 2 exciting home games then on the horizon after the Stevenage game as well to look forward to.
Great stuff. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay. From me. You mentioned about the defensive side of things. Obviously, you've been playing out from the back quite a lot this season, and there was a few sort of nervous moments doing that on Saturday. Is that something that maybe you're considering changing, or do you think that's too sort of fundamental to the type of football you want to play?
No, I don't think so. No, I think we are where we are, and we do what we do. I think we conceded from 2 set plays the other day, and that's nothing to do with playing out from the back. I think the second Northampton goal was a long ball into the box. We need to defend that moment better. So I don't think playing out from the back has cost us too much, to be honest with you. It's more the fundamentals of defending our box at key moments and key times. So now from that point of view, our attacking threat and want to take care of the ball in many parts of the game, whether it's playing out from the back or in the final third, that will stay the same.
In terms of set pieces, obviously, like you said, two on Saturday there, who you're going to play. Stevenage, a big set piece team. Is that going to be a big priority for training in this week?
Yeah. We Stevenage will look at that and think, right, we can exploit that, and we need to be ready for it. Analyse Stevenage. What did they do? The last time they won at home against Peterborough, they scored from a set play. So we need to be fully aware of that threat, and really stand up to it and take that big strength that they've got away from their game. We have to be fully ready for it, fully prepared for it, respect it, and try and stand up to it, to a real high level, to try and, not concede from any more set plays off the back of the weekend as well, which was a disappointing 2 goals to concede.
Completely different sort of team to Bolton, but also a different ground. 21,000 on Saturday, they're probably more like 4 on Tuesday. It's just a totally different atmosphere and place that you're going into, I guess, isn't it?
Absolutely, Doug. Yeah, completely different. Different stadium, different feel, different, noise, because obviously 21,000 brings more than 4. And we need to create our own energy and intensity and press well and do the basics well in the game to give ourselves the best chance possible to come through with a positive result. Look, we know what's going to be facing us. We're fully aware of that. We need to practice for it. We need to respect it, and we need to deal with it. So, that's going to be the big message over the next couple of days.
Touched on away form a few times is obviously something you want to put right. I mean, previous couple of seasons it was very strong and the home form was a bit weaker. This is probably a better way around that, because your home form has been generally good, but the way that you probably like it, but you obviously want to end that run of not winning on the road. Yeah,
for sure. I think, like you just touched on there, I think it's better to be winning at home and not away, in my opinion. I think that is a better tendency, just because it's in front of your home crowd, and your home ground feels like a bit of a fortress, and you feel like every time you come to playing at home, you feel like you're going to perform to at least a decent level to give yourself an opportunity to win a game, and I feel like that now at home at the minute, which is a big positive. I think the away form just needs to improve a little bit. The last couple of performances away from home, particularly Cardiff and Bolton, have been poor. I think Reading, we were okay, could have won that game, but we were a back 5 on the day, and I think we've touched on before, I didn't like watching the back 5. Now that we've gone to a back 4 and that we'll be moving forward, that we need to perform better away from home, and end up picking more results up away from home as well. So hopefully that will start obviously tomorrow night.
Last one, a bit of an obvious one given what happened on deadline day, but in terms of depths and strikers, obviously you played both your strikers on Saturday, and then there was no one to bring off the bench. Is that concerned that that's just going to be a recurring theme that you turn around and that there isn't that forward to bring on when you're chasing a game?
Yeah, I think, look, we have to recognise that and not get too frustrated by it in terms of from my position, because it is what it is now. The window's closed. I know people will have their own opinions on it away from here, and they have every right to do so. But the fact is that if we do play with 2 strikers, when I look behind me, there isn't much there, and we just have to get on with it. It is what it is. There's no point talking about it too much now because the window's closed. I'm fully aware of the situation, and we need to utilise that to the best of our ability moving forward, whether that's playing with 2 strikers, 1 striker, or however that looks, and just get on with it, basically.
Is Lewis Farrell an option for squads in the future, or is he just not quite there yet?
No, I think he's an option, Doug. Yeah, he's definitely an option for the squad and for minutes. And I just don't think he's probably up there right now to impact League One level. I think there was an option for him to go on loan in January, but obviously that got stopped because of not getting the secondary senior striker that we were after. So look, Leo is in the building and available to go on the bench and play if needed. He's come on in a couple of games. I think he come on against Cardiff. He come on at home to someone as well. I can't remember who it was, but he's there and available. But the impact that he would have at League One level probably isn't the impact of a David McGoldrick, of a Tom Bradshaw. That's all.
Thank you, Conor. Cheers.
Hi, Conor. I've not got too many. When you're looking at the defence, what do you think the big issue is? It communication? Is it talking to each other? What's the sort of big sort of issue? Concentration. A few things come into it now.
Yeah, I think it's at this stage. No, I think it's a little bit of a self-pride. I think that it needs to hurt a lot more when we concede goals. I got to be honest. I think we all talk about defending the box, heading it clear, clearances. I really think now it's got to be a self-pride aspect of we're going to shore this up and defend well and deal with the rest later on. And that comes from whether it's pressing up high, whether it's the goalkeeper making saves or commanding his box. I think there needs to be a collective mindset now on defending the box and doing the basics very, very well from a self-pride point of view. We haven't kept enough clean sheets. We need to better that moving forward in the last 19 games. And if we do that, then we will pick up points. It's as simple as that, really.
It looks psychologically, even if you just say got a 0-0, that would be big for you, really, just keeping a clean sheet away from home. Yeah,
it would be good, I suppose. But then I'd be looking at the attackers and going, why haven't scored goals? So we'll look. I think a 0-0, a 2-2, a 1-1, a draw is a draw. However way you look at it, I would prefer a victory and keeping a clean sheet, to be honest with you. So whether it's 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, you still get the same points. But I would like a winning output with a clean sheet. That would be my preferred preference, really.
So going forward, looking beyond probably next season or whatever, getting that defensive aspect right, that's probably in your thoughts, I would have thought, isn't it, down the track?
Yeah, it is, Leon. Yeah, I think it has to be. I think no one can argue with that. I think it needs to be organised and done properly now. By the way, we could be sitting here after the next 10 games and we could have 3 or 4 clean sheets and we could be going, look at the major improvement. We don't think about it as much now moving forward in terms of, summering what we have to do to fix it. Let's just see how the next block of 5, 6, 7, 8 games go. Let's see if there's a big improvement on it. I hope that there is. I will be demanding that there is, and then we'll speak about summertime after that.
I was just thinking with Tom, he's someone you know a lot about as a player and an individual. Do you think his game has changed as he's got older?
It's a good question. I think I wouldn't say it's changed. I think he's still really honest. I think what I saw in his first performance at Bolton is Tom works his socks off, high intensity running, will chase defenders down relentlessly, will be a nuisance, in terms of knocking the ball down to Banksy or Patrick Kelly like he did in the second half and Philo. And then he'll arrive in the box and get on the end of crosses and get on the end of chances in and around the box. I think he had a good chance with his left foot in the second half that he felt he probably should have done a little bit better with. And they're the type of opportunities I'm expecting Tom to get. So if I'm being honest, I feel like watching Tom was just watching an older Tom, but the exact same output as when I played with him myself. So credit to him to be able to do that at his age. The intensity that he runs with and the willingness that he wants to do it at. And long may that continue in the last 19 games, like we've mentioned.